Long time ago in 1936 in Atlanta in the United States, a journalist, Margaret Mitchell, wrote a novel called Gone with the Wind. This story has been one of the most popular novels in the history. In May of the following year, Mitchell was awarded the Pulitzer, and 2 years later, this story was immortalized on the big screen by David O. Selznick. But why am I talking about this book? Well, at Ciudad de Bogotá School, in the afternoon shift, the language department decided to commemorate the English date, name it Gone with the Quarantine. Let's see why. Okay, Gone with the Wind is a story told through a Georgian family and especially through Scarlett O'Hara's life. This story is divided in 5 parts. The first part shows us the story of this family, how they used to be, the place where they lived, how were their neighbors, and that old world that was going to be destroyed. This has a direct relationship with how the quarantine started, because we all had to change our routine, what we used to do during the week, places that we used to visit, and things that we haven't done during this time. In the second part, war breaks out and Scarlett has to go to work as a nurse. She has to learn a lot of things during this time, but one of the most important is that she grows as a person. During the quarantine, most of us started to work, study, and do lots of things at home, sometimes learning, sometimes not. In the third part in the book, the war ends, and we could see here how the slaves were treated and how racism has been in our society for a long time. On the other hand, people have to face the poverty and they try to survive. In the quarantine, we have listened and watched news about lots of things and situations that the world is living. One of the most important was about George Floyd murder, a black man who was killed by a policeman, and generate protests around the world. In the fourth part, Scarlett starts to change her behavior, and we can see how she is despised by society because she wanted to be a businesswoman. In the quarantine, as we have had to stay at home and we are living in a typical situation, our mood can change drastically. In the last part, we can see how Scarlett fought all her life to get happiness, and although she got lots of things that she thought would make her happy, at the end she couldn't. Although this typical situation hasn't finished, it's important to think about what happiness is to us, because happiness is relative. It has names, shapes, thoughts, and that depends on each one of us. Today, we invite you to give thanks for what you have. You don't know how long you can have it. Thank you so much to stay here.